It's for agricultural use only, so it's only got 2 small gears, so for on the road work it's very slow. But the main purpose of this William Foster engine was to drive a thrashing box, and that's exactly what we've got it doing today. Of course, you know, this is the coal we use for the steam engine, £400 a tonne. It's more money than electricity and gas. Okay, so what we have there is a Ransom thrashing box, which is a 1951. It was one of the latest that was produced. And how you can tell it's a more modern one than the very old one, because it's got pneumatic tyres on it. And also the wood on it is much more solid. The situation is that this is a sheet of corn, right? Now when the binder, which will be down at 3 o'clock, goes in the field, the binder the corn, that's what's produced in it. And then you've got, as you see, the heads on this corn contain the wheat inside, so that they have to be thrashed out. And the purpose of this, you see, is that's exactly what it does. Okay? And what you end up with is there's a sample, a very nice sample of wheat. But this is a very, very, very good thrashing machine. There's no waste, there's no char, there's nothing in that bag that shows you how good a machine that is to thrash this corn. Now then, I've got to wander down this end, because 951 you can't really see now, because the trailer's in front of all the working parts. But as it gets down the trailer, you'll start to see more of what the steam engine is driving. There's an array of pulleys with belts going in all directions. What it's doing is, you've got a man on the top, and he's called a feeder on the thrashing box. This guy is just putting the shows of corn over to him, and the guy on the top is a feeder. And he feeds it into a drum that's doing thousands of revolutions a minute. And what happens inside the combine, it goes through a series of drums and sieves. So the drums rub out the grain out of there, the sieves that it goes through gets the chaff and the straw separated, and that goes to the front of it, well, or the back of it, goes to the back of it, and it goes along what we call crawlers, which is they're going up and down and moving the straw through into the baler. The heads of the corn, when you'll be able to see this other side, is coming out of the side with the chaff, alright? And so that's how good it is at separating. So the works inside there that was developed to do a job like this is absolutely incredible. Very well engineered, and the man who designed this was a tip-top engineer, I can assure you. Now then, the wheat is going out of the back into bags. So on the back you've got bags collecting the wheat, like this is here. So there they are on the back, and the wheat's coming through and goes into the bags. Right? The straw goes that way and goes into the baler. Now this is a press baler. It's called a press baler simply because it presses it into a bale. The straw comes down into the chute, and here you've got forks, all run by the steam engine, remember, and it's bringing it down into the chamber. There is the chamber, and what they do then is they thread needles through to determine what size of bale. You can have a bale any size you want. You could have a bale that long if you wanted, or you could have a bale the whole length of that. In a minute, yeah. Now because they're using string, you can, with this baler, you can use wire as well. There's a bale with a string, and that's called a needle. And what he does, he threads it through the baler, and then pushes the string through with the little hooks on there. You see the little hooks? They hook onto the string and they bring it through. Right, they tie the string, and then that decides what size of bale. Now the reason it's called a press is because when it's here, see how the string is very sloppy and loose? Well, with this mechanism on the end, it determines how strong that's going to be. So when the bale gets here, it's gone very tense, and you can see how it goes from loose to tense, because that's why they call it a press, because it's pressing it into a bale. Now I want to tell you a little story about this baler. This baler was made by a company in Shropshire. Here we are in Shropshire, and this baler was made in Whitchurch. Does everybody know where Whitchurch is? And the company was called Smiths, right? Now Smiths made this baler, and it was sold to HMP Moorlands, which is in Doncaster, which is a prison. That's why it's painted in that colour, because the prison colours are grey. And that's why this was painted in this colour, because it spent most of its life at an open prison in Doncaster. And that's where this baler came from. So we're going through now. He's feeding the shows. See how quickly that load is going down. The feeder on the top pushing it through. And then all these pulleys, which you can now see, they're all going in different directions, which is all working riddles, shakers, and drums. And all these, there's the riddles there, see? See the riddles going backwards and forwards? Well, that's riddling the corn out, which is going to the back and into the bag. So that's it, into the baler, the press, which makes the straw into bales. Beautiful bales, these. They're very handy if you want to sit. Well, I don't do the knots.